There seems to be a lot of confusion about the way that Mike Austin used his hands at the bottom of the swing. I hope that you'll stick with me, and right after this I'm going to hopefully illuminate, make a little more simple, show you exactly what he showed me himself, how he hit his 515-yard drive, what his club face and his hands were doing through the ball. So stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve from hititlonger.com. I'm on a journey to hit longer, straighter drives because that's what makes golf the most fun for me. If you're in a similar boat, you're having troubles driving, or you just want to get it out there a little further, get it past your buddies, beat them on the scorecard, and win drinks off of them, you might want to consider hitting the subscribe button, follow me, and look at some of my other videos, as that's what I tend to cover here on this channel. In this video, I'm talking specifically about something that seems to be on a lot of people's minds that follow my channel, and that is the precise hand action that we should be using through the ball in order to get the combination of distance and accuracy that's going to help us with our goals, getting it out there off the tee, but also on all the shots, pretty much getting the distance that we want and the pinpoint precision as well. There seems to be a lot of confusion, and a lot of people have left comments saying that they are either confused or, hey, maybe I don't have my story quite right from what I'm showing them. So I trained under Mike in 1993. He showed me everything, all the ins and out of his swing, and I watched him teach several dozen hours of lessons as well that year. Just sat in the background, took notes. We'd go to the coffee shop at the end of every one of his sessions and, you know, just chew the fat. He'd tell me a few dirty jokes, and we'd talk a little bit more about the golf swing and the muscles required, and lots of old stories he got to share with me. You might remember, you might have heard of Dan Chogger. He came along and kind of invented a hand action that some people claim Mike was teaching in the later years. I don't see any evidence of that. Anything that might even look like that, I believe, has been taken way out of context. This was solely Dan's invention. I'm hoping to show you today and some demonstrations from different angles, precisely what hand action that Mike was using to hit his 515-yard drive in the 1974 National Senior Open, as well as being one of the most prolific straight long hitters in history. So hey, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of describing. I've got a 6-iron, just a little slow-mo describing one hand, then the other, then both, and then I'm going to turn the camera around to some different angles. Hopefully you'll get a better look at it. Get the camera in a little tighter. You can see what I'm doing a little better, I hope. Okay, we're going to start right at last parallel. So Mike Austin in the slot. One thing he did that you may not ever pick up on is he had his left wrist slightly bowed here in the slot, similar to Hogan. He didn't do that by placing it there like with a voluntary contraction. It was more because his wrist was simply passive and kind of floppy, that it's just reacting to the forces to get into this position, and he just allowed it. He just didn't prevent it. And you see what that does is it puts the club face back right on square to the arc. From here with the left hand and the left arm, okay, from here you absolutely have to complete at least a 90-degree roll of the forearm bones in order to get the club face back to square. As I'm doing that, I'm letting go of the palmar flexion in the left hand, squaring up at impact. After impact, now this is where people get a little confused. I am continuing the dorsiflexion. The club head is being thrown past my hand to about here, about 30 inches past the ball. Now, if what all the people that claim, hey, you're not supposed to flip it, or I don't know what they're talking about, flipping it over. You've got to, if you don't continue rolling the forearms the next 90 degrees, you'll never finish the swing. So this is where I'm at. The toe of the club and the club face are still square to the arc and starting to exit around to the left now. I'm right here. But now if I don't make a move with my forearms to finish the rolling of the forearms, watch what would happen. This would be your finish. You would cut off the maximum acceleration of the club, the whirling of the club, if you don't allow the forearms to cross over. What you've got to keep in mind is, because I am dorsiflexing here, flapping the club past, I am through impact before a significant roll ever takes place. But this would be without any roll here. My elbow would start to chicken wing. I would never get the ball high and out there with any significant distance at all. And chances are I would not do enough squaring and the ball would probably go off to the right. So again, from here, the magic spot, everybody's confused. From here, I am continuing to roll the forearm to here. The club face is still square to the arc. The right forearm is now going over. The left is, see, it's folding. Elbow is folding. Arm is rolling outward still. I'm continuing to exit still with the club shaft on plane. So I am whipping the club around one constant plane. If you do not allow the forearm to roll, you cannot keep the club shaft on this constant plane. You will raise it right off of its plane. You will cause the club to decelerate too quickly, which means that you cannot reach your top speed at the ball. Here with the right hand, coming into last parallel. Right here, the club looks slightly toe closed, but it's actually square. I'm in dorsiflexion, the elbow is straightening fast. Continuing, palmar flexion, catch up to the ball square here. Continuing palmar flexion. Now also the right forearm is starting to pronate over, you see? Otherwise, it would look like this, and I would end up slicing the ball a lot. I've got to add a torquing move, pronating the right forearm, if I'm going to make a club face square up. We now know this as a fact, that you have to have some rolling force in a swing to square it up. Otherwise, it's been shown through sensors in the grip that we would probably leave the face open 30 degrees. So if you guys all want to go out there and keep employing that method where you don't roll the arms over, you know, have at it. I'll look for you in the right side of the rough over there. So again, right arm here, palmar flexion. Palmar flexion continues as now a slow pronation is happening. Pronation is continuing to this point so the club can come out on a similar line as it was halfway down, whirling it through like that. Now the rolling, or the club face does not essentially flip here because of this move I'm putting into it, this flapping move here, and I'll show you. I've got this move, so you're partially right, because absolutely I have this move in the swing to advance the club around the arc, so we don't really have very much club face rotation through the impact zone. I would go from here and around to here. But see, after this, the right forearm has got to pass over the folding left if you're going to keep the club head moving on plane and get it to its maximum acceleration, which happens about 30 inches past the ball if there was no ball in the way to collide with. I'm going to move the camera around to a couple different angles now, hopefully illuminate a little bit more, and then we'll come back to you again at this angle.